In this video, we are going to be talking about the latest censorship efforts and give you an update with what's happening with Ilhan Omar, Donald Trump, Sargon of Akkad, and Tommy Robinson. And the interesting news is pretty crazy, as of course we have many people calling for the censorship of people online, trying to deny them a voice for, of course, their political opinions and their beliefs. One specifically being Democratic rookie Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who recently called for Donald Trump to be banned from Twitter because he posted a video of her talking about 9/11 with something happened with, of course, the actual footage of 9/11. Ilhan Omar came out and said, hey, people are abusing me. People are harassing me. I'm getting death threats because of this. And therefore, this is considered abusive behavior. Something, by the way, which Twitter actually considered before and acted on when it came to Milo Yiannopoulos. If you remember, Milo Yiannopoulos was tweeting at this woman that he accused of looking like Patrick Ewing. I forgot her name. What's her name? Leslie Jones. Sorry. He was attacking Leslie Jones, insulting her. He never made a threat. But Leslie Jones came out and said, hey, his actions are leading to me being harassed, me getting death threats. Twitter said this is the justification and why we are going to take down Milo Yiannopoulos, who was one of the first major kind of prominent political figures to be taken down. Now, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, that's a different argument here. We're just arguing and covering the facts here. But he was taken down on that premise. Ilhan Omar is like, take him down. But according to Zero Hedge here, we have new information that Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, actually called her and let her know that no, he will not be removing President Donald Trump from featuring a video of her talking about 9/11 and, of course, the 9/11 attacks. Of course, Dorsey also pointed to the fact that the tweet and video already had been viewed and shared far beyond the site, one of the source said, but the Twitter executive did tell Omar that the tech giant needed to do a better job generally in removing hate and harassment from the site, according to the two people familiar with the call. And I'm like, gee whiz, Jason, I do believe that maybe meeting Donald Trump and Donald Trump being one of the reasons why Twitter is as prominent as it is, maybe that has something to do with it, since I believe here, Jason, that they showed kind of hypocritical behavior. Let's discuss that before we get into Sargon of Akkad and Tommy Robinson. What do you think,
Yeah,
Jason?
I think we're in totally different planets here. When we talk about Milo Yiannopoulos, you may not like what he has to say, but in my eyes, the way he was literally harassing her, you can make more of an argument that they took him off of that platform for what Jack Dorsey has stated is directed harassment programs. And it wasn't directed in a broad thing. It wasn't hashtag learn to code. He said some pretty nasty things to her. I'm not about, banning people for hurt feelings. You can just block that person. I get it. I see where the argument was made. There was nothing harassing whatsoever about Trump's post to Ilhan Omar. So I don't think it has anything to do with that and everything to do with the terms of service. When you look at this video, it doesn't call her a bad person. It just intertwines her saying some people did something with dramatic music and footage from 9/11. In fact, I would have been extremely upset if Dorsey, of course he wasn't going to ban Trump, but if he'd even taken or restricted this tweet down, despite the fact that it had been shared not only across the platform but others, I think that would have been the bad move. Can you think if Twitter just started taking down videos that perhaps maybe I edited of Dick Cheney or Karl Rove or George Bush intertwined with 9/11 footage, would that be harassing? To me, it just doesn't hit the mark. There's a huge discussion to be had on what you can get away with on social media. And again, I don't think that Milo should have been banned, but
Okay,
it can,
good.
yeah, but it can certainly be made for a case that it was a targeted harassment campaign, where I don't think you can say the same about Trump's video.
Well, the main argument Twitter made is that the kind of attacks against this person because of their Twitter activities leading to them getting harassed by other people. That was the justification. The severity, we could discuss that all day. But whatever you may think of that story, there's other people who are being banned, who are in politics, and specifically running for politics, like we have Tommy Robinson and Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad. Both of these individuals are running for political office in the United Kingdom, and Twitter just banned their political campaign accounts, which many people, of course, are calling election meddling, as, of course, Cassandra Fairbanks is tweeting about this information. And it's important to note here that Sargon Avocado was previously banned. He came back under a different account. Tommy Robinson was previously banned from using the account. But what do you think here, Jason? To me, again, these are controversial figures, especially Sargon Avocado. You played one of his clips before. We were debating that before. There's an article here by The Independent saying UKIP candidate Carl Benjamin defends use of N-word by saying, quote, "I find racist jokes funny." There's also another here by the JC. UKIP candidate Carl Benjamin accused Jewish people of identity politics over the Holocaust. And then another one here by Sky News. Carl Benjamin, UKIP MEP candidate challenged over racist language. So, of course, there's a lot of hyperbolic context and language regarding Carl Benjamin, regarding Tommy Robinson. You could say lightly, definitely controversial figures. They're not definitely two of the same. They definitely stand for different ideas, different representations. But what do you think of now Twitter banning them, while at the same time saying, no, we're not going to ban Donald Trump, since he obviously is one of the biggest reasons why Twitter is such is prominent. But these lesser guys that we banned before, they're running for political office. Isn't that election meddling, Jason? Even though we don't see eye to eye with these individuals. Again,
I totally and completely 100,000 times disagree with you that the Trump tweet has anything to do with any of these subjects. You got to own what you say. And just because you think that racist jokes are funny doesn't mean you didn't use those words. And you know who thinks racist jokes are funny? Most people, they're racists. I'm not calling him a racist. I'm not saying that we all haven't laughed at a joke that has stereotypes about races in them. But when we're talking about dropping N-bombs, you've got to own what you say. When you make comments about hypothetical situations with 13-year-old girls and adults not being a crime, you have to own what you say. Again,
well, if you're going to bring that up, we should play the clip in its full context. And I kind of disagree with you. I kind of take the George Carlin model on this. But again, he did say that this was just a political practice, and this was something that he didn't promote, didn't believe at all. So if we're going to bring that up, I think it's important for people to understand here, because this is why they're banning him. They're banning him because of controversial topics and controversial spech.
I guess we should play this, and an Open Secret highlighted it, and I gotta tell you, I agree with them. So let's.
Now, there is a particular video where you gave a platform to a man, a campaigner, I suppose, Amos Yee. In that video, you also say that it would be an injustice for a priest who had a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old to be prosecuted if the 13-year-old didn't feel that anything wrong had happened. You call that an injustice.
Right.
Now, I would like to ask you why you feel that would be an injustice.
Honestly, I'd have to go back and watch it, because I'm sure there was a wider context to the discussion. It's possible that there could be a 13-year-old who is not damaged by a relationship with an adult. It's possible.
Now, let me stop that, okay? Yeah. He's about to go on to say that he doesn't know of one. And I'm not saying that it's not possible that somebody could be sexually abused at a young age and not have it devastate their lives or affect their lives that way. That's absolutely a possibility. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. He's very smart. He's always giving himself an out with this. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Luke. Go ahead.
Well, I disagree with him, with that specific comment, because there's no way it is possible psychologically to developing a mind an older person. No, that's not okay. I disagree, and I agree with you on this specific term, Jason. But in context, it does deserve to be played in its full statement, which I believe is needed here to give a fair picture, a fair shake, and not just do what the media does and highlight one specific sentence and not exactly what he said fully.
Sure, and I'll give him that. But again, he kind of doubles down. And he says, listen, there are a lot of things possible. It's possible I could grow 3 arms out of my back tomorrow. It's possible. Is that probable? No. So again, here at the very end, he even says this. So let's just continue.
He specifically says he does not promote this. He believes in age laws and restrictive age laws, which is important context here.
Yeah, I want to give him that opportunity.
Yeah. I don't know of any examples of it, and I'm not going to suggest it's a good thing. Obviously, it's not something I would promote or anything like that. Like I said, I think the age of consent could be raised, but it's just hypothetical. It's an intellectual exercise. You're taking it as if it's a party political broadcast.
Again, when you start talking about hypotheticals or a mind exercise or a hypothetical exercise, you start losing me because, again, it gives you an out on every single angle. Listen, I'm not for social media censorship. And certainly, I think you could make the argument that if he did not do these things on that platform or say these things on that platform, they should not be banning him. And he has the right to run for political office. As always, Luke, I always think more speech is better than less speech, and better speech actually tackles and takes down hate speech, real hate speech. So, listen, let it be a battle of ideas. I don't like the idea that they're being banned, but again, I don't know where there's a leg to stand on that Trump would be banned for his tweet or his tweet in any way was inappropriate and against the terms of service.
Well, according to what Twitter has been doing, they've been kind of reaching. They've been stretching. They've been using all sorts of different justifications to ban different people, not just people on the right, anti-establishment people, people on the left. A lot of people are being banned here. And, you know, again, talking about these specific individuals without just targeting them, because, yes, you could say Sargon of Akkad poorly worded some things. I could say I definitely disagree with Sargon of Akkad on specific points that I don't see eye to eye with him, and that's fine. But I do believe that there should be an open and brash discussion, and he's being attacked for it by the UK establishment. And again, to me, it's all about having that dialogue. And when you cross that line and you start censoring and deleting, that's really a dangerous point here that's leading to situations that Lee Camp is tweeting about right now, where he talked about how Facebook has begun rating posts false, such as a post saying that cannabis has benefits. Again, he describes it, can we call this dystopian yet? Yes, it's extremely dystopian, because if there's bad ideas that you don't like or individuals you don't like, you don't use negative virtues to go against them. You beat them with the truth. You beat them with positive virtues of patience, of understanding, of communication, and a dialogue, and you let that idea be fought out to rightfully see who is right and who is wrong. When you censor them, you let them fester, you let them grow, you let them build, and you let them become more hyperbolic than they ever have before. And that's why what's happening with Facebook, what's happening with Twitter, again, Twitter stood up to Ilhan Omar, but again, underhandedly, it's important to understand here, and this is why we're making this video, other people who are running for a political office now will have a harder time having their voice heard, because they can't use what many people are describing a public utility, a public square that all political conversations are dominated on. And that, of course, is Twitter. And that is a huge, huge disadvantage for a political candidate that ultimately wipes them out of the race if they can't reach out to people on the big social media sites that everyone else is on. That's why I'm making this video. Anything else you disagree with on that specific segment that I said? And do you want to close it off here?
I think I pretty much had everything I want to say on this segment. Folks, if you like what we do, we're doing 4 videos a day across 2 platforms, Pulse Change and We Are Change. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. It is so important for us to grow these channels so we can get this information out to people and give you a very different take from what you're seeing regurgitated on MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, and all the rest of the actual fake news outlets. And let's be honest, the alternative media is in such disarray, many times they're not much better than the regular media. So please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to get out there and be the change you want to see in the world.